Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I brought my baton with me today. It calms me down. No, true story, it does. It calms me down. I was in therapy today. At the very end of it, we were scheduling an appointment. I feel like this is like way off center. Hold on a second. At the very end of it, we were scheduling an appointment. And so, you know, I do my therapy sessions on Zoom call. And so it's like right next to this leather chair where I keep like my hats and my fans and everything. And I keep my baton over there now and the drama phone and everything. And so I was like looking at the baton and I go, oh, I've replaced my fans in my videos. And he's like, you did? And I was like, yeah, I felt like, I mean, I haven't gotten rid of the fans completely. I'll still use them. But I was like, yeah, I wanted to do something different. And then it's funny how like, it kind of happens. You know, like one night I was just sitting there and I was talking to Alex and I was like, shimmer with the fan. And he was like, didn't you have a baton? Because he knows the shimmer story with the baton that my friend taught me to do the shimmer thing anyway. And I was like, did I have a baton? I told you guys the whole story. Anyway, so it started with like Alex saying that I bought a baton a couple years ago, which if that's true, I still cannot find that baton. But you know, as I'm telling you guys right now, as I'm telling the story, I feel like I either took it to somebody's house. I'm gonna have to ask Laura about this. Or Laura and I were somewhere, like when we used to like, we would walk around the neighborhood and stuff. I feel like I threw it really high up in the air and it stuck in a tree or something like that. I kind of feel like I lost the baton forever. For some reason though, I thought like I put it down in the basement where batons went. But now, like, I use this every single day. Like, as I'm just, like, kind of sitting around the house, I just kind of, like, play with it. It's so fun. You need to get a baton. No, you need to get a baton. They're so fun. I don't really like the small ones that I got that have, like, the glitter and the water in them. But these, like, real batons, I love these so much. But anyway, so I was, like, I had it over here, and I was, like, holding it so he couldn't see it. And I go, what do you think that I replaced it with? He doesn't, like, I mean, he's watched some of my videos just to kind of see what I do, but he doesn't watch my videos. But anyway, he was, like, I don't know, something that you probably like, because you point with your fan and you like make points with your fan and you flip the fan when you're like, you know, whatever. He's like, so something like that. He goes, I can't remember what he said. And I go, a baton? And you know what he said? He didn't say like, like laugh, like that's the stupidest thing in the world. But I was like going like this when I was talking. It's kind of hard in this coat. Okay. But I was just like doing this as I was like looking at the Zoom call. And he goes, how do you do that so well? Like my therapist wasn't shocked that his 53-year-old client has a baton, okay, or uses it in videos. He was more shocked by my true talent of it all. I love that so much. So anyway, how are you guys doing today? Well, this is actually an earlier vlog, kind of. So it is currently, let's see what time it is. It's 5:29. And I am uploading my Peter Does Stuff video right now. And I don't know, like Alex, he said he was going to be leaving at 5 o'clock. Oh, did he text me? Yeah, he just texted me and said on my way home. Let me text him back. Okay, babe. So he will be home here in about 20 minutes. When he comes home, I'm going to stop this for a second, go inside and say hi. I'm trying to get like all my videos kind of done early today. All of my videos, except for my review video right now, are uploading. I did an hour-long drama video today. I did a Peter Does Stuff video talking about all of my current favorite fragrances. And then, what else did I do? I always think I know these people. And then I did, I keep on wanting to do this TV video about that documentary, Girl on the Run. And then I'm just like, no, I'll wait till tomorrow. No, wait till tomorrow. So I did 2 TV videos yesterday. I did Traders and I did, what was the other one that I did? Oh, Welcome to Plathville coming back. So I did my fragrances, I did the drama video, I did a review of these chocolate snacks, chocolate corn kernels from Trader Joe's. And then I also did, what's the other video? Oh, I did a booktube video. I did my review of the Laura Dave book, the first time I saw him. So I did those 4 videos today. See, in my head, I'm like, I didn't really film a lot, but this is my 5th video. I have now, in 4 days, I have filmed 25 videos. That is crazy. It doesn't even seem like that much to me. It really doesn't. But anyway, I want to get everything like done tonight because I really want to read tonight. And I also want to take a very long walk. It is really, really nice today in Indianapolis. Well, I mean, it's like gray outside and stuff like that. Like, here, I'll show you. You can see the sky is gray and it's kind of like sprinkling rain a little bit. I mean, it's not like a pretty looking night, but temperature-wise, I think it was like in the upper 60s today. I can't go into the weather and look because I'm still uploading this video. So when this video gets uploaded, my Peter Does Stuff video, I will go in and I will look at the temperature. But I think it was in like the upper 60s today. It's been really nice all day long. The problem with it is that with it comes mud. And so the dogs don't really want to go in the yard. I mean, the yard is completely mud. And the backyard is all completely mud. So I can't let them out in the backyard. And when I bring them out here, it's like Walter will walk in it, but Otis won't. And so they kind of pull me in two different directions. But anyway, look, I picked this coffee mug out for you guys today. Isn't it so pretty? That's the tea, Miss Lee. Somebody in my vlog said, they said something about, that somebody called them Miss Lee when they were growing up because that was like their middle name or something like that. I feel like that's kind of my generation, that middle name, Lee. Well, not necessarily just L-E-E, but L-E-I-G-H. Like, I feel like everybody, Elizabeth and Lee, like when I was growing up, like so many girls that I knew, like their middle names were Lee. And if you're my age, like there were certain, like lots of Jennies when I was growing up, lots of Julies. You don't really hear any, like, young Julies anymore, you know? I feel like Laura's getting ready to leave. I think I heard her garage door go up. Is she leaving? Is this her? I don't remember what this coffee is. It smells kind of funky. I had a cup of coffee during my therapy session today, and I only drank like half of it, and that was at 2 o'clock. So that was like 3.5 hours ago. Actually, when I got done with it, I threw it out. And so I just made this coffee. It was something, well, I had my drawers like all packed, and so I was looking in the closet, and I was like, which coffee is this? And I reached in there, and I don't even remember. Oh, by the way, it was pouring down rain. Last night, it was interesting what would happen. Like, it would rain super, I mean, we had hard thunderstorms last night. The dogs are kind of scared of it. Both of them are. It's like not outside in it. Like Walter will stand right in the middle of it. Otis doesn't like to go out in it like I was talking about yesterday. But Walter will stand right in the middle of it. If I pick up Otis and like carry him out there, which is hard having them both on leashes, you know, but when I do it, like once he gets out in it, like Otis isn't scared of it. But if he's standing out here, like Walter like goes and Otis doesn't want to. So I have to like pick up Otis and like take him out there and like walk, you know, Walter on the leash, and then they just kind of stand there. Walter doesn't mind it. It's funny like when they come inside, because they're soaking wet, and they kind of like both shaking it, and then they're like chasing each other around. They kind of like it. But what was interesting was, it happened like 2 nights ago when it was thunderstorming, because I was sitting downstairs and I said to Alex, and I said, which one of them is that? And he said, it's both of them. Boo Radley was scared to death of storms. Like, with the lightning and the thunder inside, like not outside. Boo Radley would, if you were outside in the storm, it didn't bother him. It didn't bother any of the dogs. Tucker and Pee-Pee didn't like it. But Boo Radley would walk right out in the rain, the snow, and all that kind of stuff. Very much like Walter. But if he was inside, it was the sounds, and I think also like the pressure of the thunder and stuff like that, and the storm that scared him. He didn't understand it. So like if it was thundering and lightning outside, like Boo Radley would, like, I mean, he would be visibly like shaking like this, and he would like climb up, and he would like whatever. People said, my dad swears by those thunder coat things, those thunder jacket things. I got all the thunder stuff, and it really never, any of it helped Boo Radley at all. Depending on how they do, it might be because they're so young. I don't know. We'll see. But the other night, it was like thundering and lightning, and I heard one of them up there crying. They're real into the crying thing now. Like, if they want your attention, especially Otis, because he's learned it works. He's like, they're real into the crying, both of them. Little babies. I have such a hard time saying no. But anyway, so I was sitting down at the computer, and Alex was upstairs with them, and I heard one of them crying, and I was like, which one of them is crying? He goes, they're both crying. And I said, are they afraid of the storms? He's like, yeah, they're all over me. Like, they're doing the same thing that Boo did to us, like crawling up us. And so I went upstairs, and they were real sweet, but you could tell, like, they didn't understand. I mean, I forget sometimes, like, we haven't had a lot of, like, lightning thunderstorms since they've lived here. Like, this is, like, their first year of life. It's, to be honest with you, when you step back from it for a second and you think about that, right? Like, this is their first year ever. I mean, they're not even a year old yet, per the vets. When you step back and you're like, and I know, you know, they're not babies, they're dogs, I get that, right? But like, everything they're experiencing for the first time ever. Like snow, like rain, you know, like thunderstorms. Like, they don't understand it, you know? And they, even if it happens 20 times, they still don't understand it. But it's it's cute to watch. It kind of makes me sad sometimes. Like, they're past the thing of, like, the reflection in the window. Like, they're not fixated on it anymore. Well, Otis definitely isn't. Otis, like, if he sits on the ottoman, he can see in the mirror, and he'll kind of, like, look like that sometimes. Walter, every once in a while, will look in the mirror, and he'll be like, he doesn't understand, like, it's when Alex moves the ring light out, like, when he has meetings on Friday, like, tonight he'll do it. It's because the ring light's moved, and Walter doesn't understand why when he looks in the mirror, something's different. I think that's what it is. But if there's, like, in the yard, okay, like, if I'm sitting there watching TV at night, and I, like, turn my phone like that, and so, like, the phone lights up in the window, then Walter's, because he's looking at the window, right, and it's something different. And it's kind of cute, but it's kind of sad at the same time, because it's like, they don't understand it. And then you wish you could just explain it to them, like, you know, it's okay, sweetie, and I do all that, but they don't really get it. They're so sweet, though, little babies. They're so sweet. And so I tell them, I said, it's God's tears, and God's playing, he's bowling up there in heaven. Don't worry about him, it's fine. So anyway, last night, it was raining so hard. They did real good. I was real proud of them. They both did. Well, Walter pooped outside first before Otis. I thought Walter will never, Walter doesn't really, like, he gets so distracted anyway. I was like, he's not going to want to do his business out here at all. Is this Alex coming down the street? Oh, no, that was Laura leaving. I was right about Laura leaving. But I was like, he's not going to, oh, my video's done. I was like, he's not going to want to do his business at all outside. I just really didn't think that Walter would at all. You know what? I'm going to change this over to my review video. And then when I go inside to say hello to Alex. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? I can upload my review video, and then all my videos will be done for the day when I get done with my vlog. But anyway, Walter pooped and peed real quick last night. Otis was a little bit slower. Otis in the grass, like, walks like this, like he feels like his feet are sinking in or something like that. He doesn't really understand the wet grass. It's cute. Who texted me? Oh, Laura texted me. Oh, she said, do you know why hardly no one put out trash today? I don't. They took our trash. And she said, also, your garage is open, just FYI. Because I put the trash can in and I forgot to close the garage door. Well, Alex is coming home anyway, so he'll close it when he comes home. So anyway, last night though, it was it would pour down. Like, I mean, it was so much that I didn't even want to go out in it, but they definitely. I mean, it was downpour, heavy downpour. When I got up from my nap, I went into the bathroom, brushed my teeth, and washed my face before I put my pajamas on and stuff. And I could hear it on the sunlight. Like, it was powerfully coming down. I was like, damn. I was like, they are not going to want to go out in it. Well, by the time that we got downstairs and I, like, you know, brought them downstairs and I, like, lit the candle in the kitchen and brought my iPad over and stuff, it had completely stopped. And, like, they were ready to go outside again. So I took them outside, but I went into the basement. I was like, I know I have this orange raincoat that I've had literally before I got sober. I have it still in the basement. I think it might be Old Navy or something. No, it's a Nike coat. I got it, like, literally, like, 35 years ago. But a couple years ago, I bought this. Isn't it cute? I totally forgot about it. It was hanging on the rack in the basement. So I was like, I'm going to pull this out. I actually was kind of surprised. I thought it would be, like, I think it's like a 2XL or something. But it fits me pretty good. So I wore this last night, and then I kept on hanging it. I thought they would play. They love zippers. Like, they have pulled something. They love it. They, like, start pulling on them. I'm like, okay, you guys, come on now. So we have to put all of our coats up so they don't get on the zippers and stuff like that. But anyway, but I found this coat, and I was kind of surprised. So I was wearing this last night. It was actually good, because it has a hood and everything. It's a good raincoat. But they kind of liked it. It was cute when they came inside from being wet and stuff like that, because they were chasing each other around. They were, like, shaking out and stuff like that. But yeah, it, like, rained all last night. So here was the deal. Last night, watching TV, I'm getting caught up on The Valley. I have 3 more episodes of The Valley, and then I have the reunion, is what I have left to do. With the, to turn this auto lock off. I do that when I'm, like, uploading my videos so it doesn't go into sleep mode. Anyway, I have 3 more episodes of The Valley. They're in Hawaii right now. Kristen and Luke just got engaged. And then I've got 3 more episodes. And then the reunion is 3 parts, I guess. I'm ready for the reunion. The reunions are always good with the Vanderpump Rules people. So I'm excited about that. I have a question on the Valley. First of all, Janet and Jason, I think, are so boring. I don't even know why they're on the show. But they are such shit stirrers, too. Like, both of them are such shit stirrers. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, it's good to see you.
She's not a widow.
I know, she's not a widow. I haven't come up with a nickname yet. Did you come up with a nickname?
Not yet. We're waiting on you.
Well, so I talked to the people in my video about it, and they said I should call you, because you guys are walkers, I should call you the Walker family. I said, no, like that doesn't...
All right.
Okay, we'll call you the Walker family then.
All right.
I saw it was your brother's birthday.
Yes.
Oh, happy birthday all around. Well, you guys enjoy your walk.
All right.
It's good seeing you.
With this weather.
I know, it's so nice, isn't it?
Awesome.
It's good seeing you guys.
Yeah, good to see you.
Bye. I guess they're the Walker family now. Those are my new friends. So anyway, I saw on the Facebook it was his brother's birthday. I thought I should be so neighborly. This is so small town Indiana. Anyway. I don't know if I like this coffee. The thing is, I don't remember which one it is. Do you know what I wonder if this is? No, I wouldn't have done that one because I know it has like really heavy caffeine in it. I thought maybe this was that Headless Horseman coffee. What is this? This is so bad. I mean, I'm gonna keep on drinking it because I want a cup of coffee, but it is not good. So anyway, I got into bed last night to take my nap. And what was Alex watching? Oh, he went to his girlfriend's house last night. So Alex went to his girlfriend's house last night. He got home, what time? I think it was like, I don't know what time it was, 10, sometime between 10 and 11. Because he was texting me telling me they were catching up, and then he was like, I got home later than you. Oh, here's a look at little Walter's picture that I sent to Alex last night. I put it on my Instagram too. He likes to put his head in between the cushions. They ordered some Thai and they were catching up. And then he said he was about to head over. Oh, that was at 9:12. So I guess he got home about 9:30, 9:45. But I was upstairs and I was reading. So I'm reading that R.L. Stine book. I don't know. It's just so cheesy. I mean, I'll finish it. I'm like 35% of the way through it. It's a real short book. But then I'm trying to finish the February Cozy Mystery book, which I love. The writing is just so flowery and cheesy, but I love the characters and I love the story to it. I'll probably keep on reading them. I don't know that I'll turn around and read another one right away. And then I was reading a couple different things. And I started that new Taylor Adams book, so I was listening to that on Audible. Then Alex came home, and then, because he was like, oh, I thought you were going to lay down and take a nap, and I was waiting for you to come home, blah, 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 because I knew the dogs would jump down and all that kind of stuff. And so he was like, oh, okay, and then I was like, well, how's she doing? Because he hadn't seen this friend of his in a while. And so he was giving me, like, updates and telling me about his girlfriend and all that kind of stuff and what's going on with her and blah, 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 whatever. And then we were talking about planning something. What were we planning last night? He was like, we got to plan something with her to do this, her and her boyfriend. I was like, okay. So we talked about that, and then I said I was going to lay down, and then I was like, are you going to watch TV? He was like, no. He's like, I'm really tired. He was like, I'm going to roll through TikTok for a little bit. So he rolled through TikTok. I fell asleep fast after that. And then when I got up, I slept super late. I set my alarm. I think I set my alarm for like 12. And then I snoozed it, and then I turned my alarm off. I didn't get out of bed last night until like 1 o'clock in the morning, I think. So that was like when I came downstairs and stuff like that. And that was when I went in the bathroom and it was like pouring down rain. And then when I came downstairs and it like stopped. It was like that all night long. I was really like worried that they were going to like go potty in the house last night. I mean, if they do, they do. But because Tanya was asking me, she's like, I said something about them pooping in the house. I said, I'd rather have them, because if they do, they like, it's usually like on the slate floor. I'm like, I'd rather have them poop on the slate floor. I mean, I don't want them to learn that, but if they're scared to go out in the rain, I'd rather have them poop on the slate floor than pee somewhere. I don't want them to pee because, I don't know, it's just easier to clean up poop than it is, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't do anything inside last night. I was really proud of them. And they kind of came out here and just did their stuff. Like Otis, it took a little bit longer because I don't think he understands the grass and stuff. But Walter came right out here and did his business. I was proud of him every time that I brought them out. So then last night, I wanted to watch a movie. I actually looked through like all the Tubi movies And I was looking at, there's some movie on Netflix called Trap House. It's like #1 right now, but it's from several years ago. I was going to maybe watch that. And then there was something else I was going to watch, some other movie. I don't know. I had a bunch of movies. And I really wanted to watch Poltergeist. I might watch it tonight because I keep on talking about Poltergeist. I had forgotten until like 3 o'clock in the morning that Survivor was on last night. Or I would have watched Survivor last night. But I think I'm going to watch Survivor tonight, or like when I get back from my walk and I'm like eat my dinner and stuff like that. I'll probably watch half of it then, and then half of it after my nap. But anyway, so I watched last night 2.5 episodes. I'm completely caught up on Paradise. To be honest with you, I was kind of bored with Paradise. I can see where this season's going already. I don't want to ruin it for anybody that hasn't watched it, so I'm going to try to keep this kind of ambiguous, because Paradise is a to-watch show. Like, it is a fantastic show. But yeah, I can't really talk about it without ruining it, but I will say this. I'm completely caught up except for this week's episode, which I don't know when it comes out. Maybe it came out last night or it comes out tonight. I don't know. But I was kind of bored with it, to be honest with you. It kind of goes back and forth between storylines, and it kind of tells the history of how all the characters got to where they got in season 1. But I don't want to say anything about it. The 4th episode of the show, the only comparison, and it's on a completely different level. It's not the same kind of storyline, but if you watch The Last of Us, do you remember like season 2, episode 3 that was about the gay couple? And it really was kind of like completely different than like the rest of the show. Paradise actually kind of gives me The Last of Us vibes a little bit. I know it's not like I think The Last of Us is done. Well, I don't know. They're just I was going to say so much better, but they're two completely different storylines, so they're really a hard comparison. But the 4th episode of Paradise sealed it for me. Nikki was like, I was telling her last night that we were watching it, and she was like, I thought you promised that we were going to watch it together. And I was like, did I say that? I probably did. And she's like, yeah. She goes, well, I'm going to catch up on it tomorrow. And I said, okay, I'm sorry. Like, Tanya was watching it. Tanya told me I need to catch up. I say that about so many shows. I wasn't going to watch Paradise until it was all out, but then Tanya said it was great, so... But anyway, so Nikki's going to get caught up on it. But the 4th episode, if you can make it to the 4th episode, I think it's only 8 episodes this season. It's not all out yet. The 4th season, or the 4th episode, oh, I was bawling my eyes out at the end of it. I was bawling my eyes out. Okay, I want to say something, though. Like, people are saying there's all these, like, Easter eggs and hidden secrets in it. I don't know about that, and I'll be honest with you, like, I am the last one to catch that stuff. Like, no, true story. Like, I love that stuff on, like, Stranger Things and all that kind of stuff, and I totally believe in that, and I think it's genius when writers and producers put it into shows and directors, but I'm like, unless somebody points it out to me, I am the last one to catch it. Okay, but I did catch this, and what is it about Elvis with this show? Like, is this going to be one of these, like, at the very end of it, we're all, like, in an Elvis song or something? Because, okay, the first season, it's so heavily on music, and I didn't realize it until the 2nd season. So the 2nd season starts at Graceland, okay, Elvis's old home. Oh, look at that little dog, it's so cute. Hey, how are you? Good. Starts at Graceland, and, like, Shailene Woodley is, like... I can't say too much about it. Anyway, she's like a tour guide at Graceland. So anyway, but the whole 2nd season, or the first part of the 2nd season, takes place at Graceland. It's genius how they write it into it. I didn't realize this until the episode where they show Xavier is the guy from the whole first season. He's like the Secret Service to the president. And he is in, oh my God, did you hear also, the guy that plays the president was the guy that was in season 1 of Jury Duty on Amazon Prime, which if you have never seen Jury Duty on Amazon Prime, is this my husband? It sounds like my husband. It is my husband. Shimmer! Why is he opening the garage door? The guy that is the president in Paradise, well, the first season, he is in Jury Duty. Jury Duty, I'll come back and tell you guys about Jury Duty here in a second. I'm going to go in here and say hi to my husband, take the dogs out so that they can relax with him and stuff like that, and then I will be back in 2 and 2 to finish this vlog. I don't want to take too long because it's starting to get dark and stuff like that, and I don't want it to get too dark because if it gets too dark, then I'll have to switch to that chair, and I don't want to switch to this chair. And I know you guys are like, it's not dark, we can see, but like then when I play it back, it's like fading and all that kind of stuff, so I don't want to do that. Is he coming around? Sometimes he walks around this way and comes out here. Is the garage door closed? He's closing the garage door. Okay, so I will go inside. I'm going to go see him, hang out with him for a second, and I'm going to go see the dogs, and I will be back, or take the dogs out, and I will be back in 2 and 2. Don't miss me too much. Okay, I'm back. Alice, my husband, Alice Betokelis. Oh my God, I forgot that I named one of those ducks, Alice Betokelis. Anyway, Alex, my husband. Best damn tapper, most smartest. Alex is changing. I took the dogs outside. They both did their business, and now they're hanging out with him. So anyway, before it gets too dark, I want to finish this best damn tapper vlog. What if I went on tour and I gave everybody a baton? I would never go on tour. Who would come? I know you guys are so nice. You're like, I would come. I would come. Honey, I couldn't pack a phone booth on tour. No, I couldn't. But that's okay. Because part of the problem is this, right? Like, even if I was going to go on tour, most of the people, like, I think even if my favorite person came to, like, it took a lot for me to go see Stevie Nicks, honestly. Like, I remember Alex was like, did you know Stevie Nicks was in town? I had really, like, that night that he called me and asked me, he was at his friend's house or something. I can't remember how it happened, but, because he was like, do you want me to get the tickets? And I said, no, if we're going to go, like, I want to get, like, the best seats in the house kind of thing. And so, but I was like, I can remember thinking, do I really care? Like, do I really want to go down there and deal with all the crowds? Like, I go through all that. I talk, everything I will talk myself out of, okay? Unless it's laying on a beach by a hotel. But even then, I kind of like, I talk myself out of everything, right? And so I was like, I can remember being like, you need to go see Stevie Nicks. Like, you might not have this opportunity again in your life. Like, you know, I was like, go see Stevie Nicks and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad I did. But, like, even if, like, I'm trying to think of somebody that would come to town. Well, Alex really likes that comedian. If Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen came to town, they were going to come here somewhere close, and I was going to get tickets for Alex, because we both like them a lot. But we had something we were doing that weekend, we were out of town. That Mateo Lane, that comedian, I like him too, but Alex really, really likes him. He was here in Indianapolis on Valentine's Day. If we didn't have the wedding to go to, I would have got tickets for that. So, Rufus the Soul, like, Alex got those tickets, and I remember when he got them, he was like, because I knew he was going with all of his friends, and he was like, do you want me to get you a ticket to Rufus the Soul? Well, every other year I usually say no. But then when the concert comes, I'm always like, God, I wish I would have gone to Rufus the Soul. It would have been fun, right? And I love Rufus the Soul. And so I was like, yeah, get me a ticket. Well then, it's just started to rain. Great. The only way I know is because I can see it. It's like little sprinkles on the cement. So then, when it was like a couple weeks before Rufus the Soul, Alex was like, don't forget we have Rufus the Soul on whatever date it was. And I can remember thinking, God, I don't want to go. Like, he's like, but if you don't want to go, tell me now because I can sell your ticket. And I really honestly almost thought about selling my ticket. But we had so much fun that night. I am so glad I went. That was so much fun. I'm really, really glad I went to Rufus the Soul. That was fun times. Who is this down here walking? Is this the guy that was walking his dog and now he's walking by here again without his dog? I hope it's just sprinkling so I can go for my walk. I'm really liking that Taylor Adams book so far. And Her Last Breath. And I'm not that far into it. Oh, this is what I was going to take. James Marsden. So James Marsden plays... He is so good looking. So good looking. Well, on jury duty, he's real arrogant. Kind of like, hey, how are you? Good to see you. He's real arrogant. She always kind of gives me these. This is this woman that's like kind of like my age, and she moved in here like probably 2 years ago, and she always kind of like gives me these real flirty smiles. What man is sitting on his front porch but Batoning? Okay. Probably not flirty. It's probably like, you are an idiot, is what she's saying. She's super friendly to me. I always see her like out there. She walks her dog and then she walks by herself. She's like kind of a power walker, and she's always like, hey. She always like is very, maybe she's just like one of those flirty people, you know? I don't know. She's real nice. She's real super nice. Do you remember that woman that I met that one time, and she was like my age, and she lived with somebody in here, and she was like, this wasn't that long, I think like this was late last summer, and she was like, it's so nice to meet somebody your age. I haven't seen her in here since. So we were gonna be best friends and everything. Oh well. Anyway, so best damn tapper, most smartest. Look, I don't even have any socks on today. I just have my Birkenstocks on. So, okay, James Marsden plays the president in the first season of Paradise. So, James Marsden is in the show Jury Duty. I do not remember who recommended this show to me. I mean, it's been a couple years since I watched it. But, you know, I talk about TV shows over here all the time, even though I have a TV channel. Somebody a couple years ago recommended to me, they were like, you have to watch, it was somebody that they were like, me and my husband watched Jury Duty, and we watched it in one day, and it was so fantastic. And I remember looking at the trailer of it. It's on Amazon Prime, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, this show looks so stupid. Like, this looks like the dumbest show I've ever seen. You know, I rarely say this about reality shows, definitely not like competition shows. This might be one of the only reality shows that I would rewatch, like this season. It is so fantastic. Okay. So the first season, do you remember, that was loud. Do you remember a couple, I'm losing my voice because I've been talking so much today. Do you remember a couple years ago, it was like a year or two ago, I looked it up and they said they weren't doing a second season of it because it was so expensive to do the first season. Well, now they've come out with a second season and it's called like Corporate Retreat or something like that. This woman that like when I was out here with the dogs, she like drove by. Her son's like 10 or 12, something like that. I've never seen her walk in this neighborhood before. She parked down there, like at the like one of the maybe her parents live in here. But she just walked by and she was like staring a hole through me and she was showing her son the phone and then he looked over at me. Like she was showing him. Best damn tapper, most smartest. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so they're coming out with a second season. It actually comes out this month on Amazon Prime. I don't think it's out already. I think it comes out like March 31st. So it's called Corporate Retreat or Company Retreat or something. Okay, so if you've never seen this reality show, you need to watch. I'm telling you right now, it is so endearing. It is so hilarious. It is so fantastically done. Okay. Jury Duty Season 2. Jury Duty Season 2. When does it come out? March 20th. Okay. So Jury Duty Season 1 is about, we're going to read the synopsis for Season 2, okay? Because I haven't read the synopsis or anything, I just saw the pictures for it. But Jury Duty Season 1 is, it starts off with all these people and they're being like, you know, asked to be on jury duty. So they're like in the waiting room before they go in. They're all actors except for one of them. Only one of them in the entire show is not an actor. And he doesn't know that everybody else is an actor. He doesn't know all the juries are actors, or all the jury members are actors. The judge is an actor. The attorneys are actors. The case is fake. It all takes place at like a county courthouse, okay? The trial is so out there. I can't even remember what it was now, but it's so stupid. And like the people get really heated. So the judge makes him like the jury foreman. And like some of it is so funny. Like there's this old lady on the jury. I mean, she's an actress, right? And she's like, they show her and she's like this. She's like falling asleep during the trial. And the judge is like, I can't remember what his name is, but they're like, Ken, you got to do your job. And he's like, Sue, like you have to stay awake. But he doesn't know it's all made up, right? You do watching it. You know that like it's all made up, right? But he doesn't know that. And it's like these jury members are like, this one guy has like all these inventions. And then like people come to him with like, this one guy is like, because they're sequestered in this hotel, right? And so, which like the court case is never, it would not be a court case where they would be sequestered. I can't remember why they get sequestered, but James Marsden is playing himself. So he's like, I'm an actor, I have to go do this movie, so I can't do this jury. But anyway, but he's really funny in it. He's kind of arrogant, but I really like him in Paradise. But on Jury Duty, he's real arrogant. Like, I'm an actor, and you should know me and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, like, there's this one guy, and, like, he and his girlfriend were supposed to go on some trip, but she decided to go without him because he had jury duty. And so he's like, look, they're not supposed to have phones and look at their Instagrams and stuff like that. But he's like, she's taking a picture with this other guy. It's like, there's all these different storylines of the jury members, and this guy gets caught right in the middle of it. And he's a super nice guy, right? I'm not going to tell you what happens at the end of it, but the end of it is, I mean, I was crying. It was fantastic. So they said they weren't going to do another season because it was too expensive to do, right? So season 2 is coming out March 20th. I have not been this excited about a TV show in a long time. Somebody's running down the street? Oh, yeah, okay. maybe more of a gallop. That's me running. Jury Duty Season 2, titled Jury Duty Presents Company Retreat, premieres on Prime Video on March 20th, 2026, featuring a new unsuspecting lead named Anthony in a fake corporate retreat scenario. Similar to the first season, this installment features an all-actor cast except for one person, with a plot inspired by 1980s comedies. The season consists of a staggered rollout with a 3-episode premiere followed by weekly releases. Oh, I'll have to wait till the whole thing's out. Premise: the show moves from a courtroom to a corporate retreat for a fake family-owned hot sauce company. Oh, I did read that. Okay, it starts on the first 3 episodes on March 20th, followed by 2 on March 27th. Who is this walking down the street? I don't know her. And a 3-episode finale on April 3rd. Oh, so it's only 6 episodes? The show moves from a courtroom to corporate retreat for a fake family-owned the target. A temporary worker named Anthony is the only person who believes this scenario is real. We got all kinds of... Oh, there's that girl that runs with 2 of her friends on bikes. It is busy, honey. The neighborhood is busy today. Are y'all ready for the HOA drama to start? Oh, there's that guy that was walking. Now he's walking back the other way. And there's only so many places you can walk in this little neighborhood. Are you ready for the HOA drama to start? The HOA drama is getting ready to start, honey. Okay. And it talks about the cast. Is there any, like, famous people in this one? I don't know any of these people. Executive produced by the team behind the first season. I mean, you don't have to watch the first season to watch the second season because they're completely 2 different scenarios, like it says. Like, the first season's a courtroom. The second season's completely different cast and different idea. But you should watch the first season. I might watch it again. There are some great scenes. Okay, like this old lady, she steals the show so much. And this one part, I talked about it on here. I remember talking about it on here. So many people, when I mentioned it on my vlog later, like, watched it. And so many people direct messaged me and commented on my video and were like, oh my God, we watched it. I think each episode's like a half an hour. You can binge it in like one sitting. It is meant to be that way. It is so fantastic. But like, there's this one scene. Well, they all go to like this Mexican restaurant, and they're only allotted so much money. They get all these drinks or something, and then like somebody has to come up with the money for the extra drinks. It's because they're all taken to, like, restaurants, you know, like, with the police. Well, the first one they go to, because they're sequestered, right, in this hotel. The first one they go to, it's, like, him and this old lady and this other guy. And, like, okay, he doesn't have any clue through the whole thing that it's fake, right? So he just thinks it's, like, this production team that's following, like, a real jury as they are on this sequestered trial. So they're producing it, and they're, like, or they're interviewing them outside this, like, Chili's. I don't know why this part cracked me up so much. And they're like, what are you gonna have to eat? And she says something like, she's real serious. And she's like, and he just like looks at her and he like starts laughing, but he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. So he like tries to hold it in. Because it's something that somebody like this would say. And she's like, I'm thinking about having the salmon, unless we're allowed an appetizer, in which case I will have the queso and guacamole. But she's like so serious. And she so reminds me of my grandma that went to prison. I just live for her, and she's falling asleep. And they're constantly bitching about like what snacks they have in like the jury room and stuff like that. You guys, it is so funny. If you have not watched, but it's so endearing too. Because like, he's taking them, he's such a nice guy. Like, he is a really, really nice guy. And he has no clue. Like, and they kind of feel bad, you know, too, that because he's such a nice guy, that they're like, they feel kind of bad. Anyway, but the Indian, it's so good. The Indian is so good. I love that show so much. I feel like I should watch it again. Anyway, maybe I should watch it again and do a reaction to it before season 2 comes out. Because it's like a one-day watch. You know who hasn't watched it is Alex. Maybe I'll watch it with Alex because he would love it. It's so funny. He probably wouldn't think it was funny. We have House of Villains to watch. And Palm Royale got canceled after 2 seasons. See, now I'm like, I said to Alex, I said, do you even want to watch the second season now? Because we're only 1 episode in. And he goes, yeah. I go, it got canceled. He goes, but we haven't seen the second season yet. That show is so fantastically written and casted. I can't believe it got canceled. But all these stupid reality shows are on their 20th season, you know? Anyway. At least I have something to talk about with Sister Wives, right? So last night, I wanted to watch Poltergeist, but it got too late. And so I ended up watching, I got all caught up on Paradise. So all the episodes that are out as of yesterday. I watched the first 4. I watched those. And then I watched 2 episodes of, episode and a half of, what do you call it? School Spirits. I just love that show so much. I don't know, like if that show, because I love like anything paranormal and horror, you know that. If that show existed when I was like in high school, first of all, it's a lot about LGBTQI plus representation, like across the board. And what's interesting about it is, you know, like each of the kids that are in this high school, so it's about a group of kids, and anybody that died in the school is trapped in the school, okay? So when you start it, it's about this support group that's run by this teacher that died in the school, and then he's like hosting the spirits. But like, then this girl dies, and she's like, her name's Maddie, and I'm not ruining the show. This is literally like episode 1, season 1. We're on season 3 now, okay? So she dies in the school, but she doesn't remember how she dies, and so she joins this support group, and then she becomes friends. Like she kind of has to. She becomes friends with all the other spirits in the school. But they're not like scary spirits. Like one guy died from a football thing in like the 80s. One girl died like in the 50s. Another girl died like in marching band, like in the 70s. One of the characters like died like when I would have been like in high school, and his character is so relatable to me because he's gay. And then another guy died like in the 60s. So a lot of the social issues they talk about, like the last episode that I watched, this won't ruin it for anybody, was this girl finding like her identity, and her mom raised her as being very feminine, and like she changed her name. Like they didn't know she changed her name, but they couldn't find her in yearbooks and stuff, and she's like, that's because this won't ruin, well, I don't want to say her name because then you'll know who it is when you're watching it, because I didn't know like a whole season about this, but like changed her name from like something that was very feminine to something that was very androgynous. And she's like, she talks about like this whole episode was like with her character was about like gender, and she was like, I don't feel 100% feminine, but I don't feel 100% masculine either. And she was like very gender fluid. But she's talking, like she died like in the 90s, and the person she's talking to died in the 50s. And so they're talking about gender from that point of view. Like the one that died in the 50s, she's like, for us, like it was rebellious to wear pants as women. And so it goes back and tells her story about how she went to like this live poetry reading and she heard this woman sing, and it talks about fluidity of sexuality, but it's not like in your face. It's just kind of like woven through the story. I mean, the background story is like, how the hell are they going to get out of this school because they're all trapped in their like spirits. It's comedic at times. Like Jennifer Tilly is in this season. She plays the superintendent of the school. Her daughter's like a mean girl. I can't tell you what the plan is behind that, because that's going to be season 4, and then it's supposed to end with season 4. It's just really well done. And it's kind of scary too. I love it. It's so good. And there's romance and stuff in it. Like it's just, I love the show so much. But last night when I was watching it, I was like, this show, I started watching it, and I just watched it because I kind of like the premise of it. The more I watch it, it's like, I don't know why I almost felt like I was going to cry there for a second. You know, I think about like all this stuff that so many people are so scared of in this world, you know, like I'm telling you as a gay person that if when I was coming to terms with being gay, I could have changed anything about that outcome and I could have been straight, I would have changed that. I would have done anything that I could. I was scared to death of what my future would look like. I was scared to death that nobody would like me, including my family, even though I knew they had gay friends and were accepting of gay people. I was still scared to say it. I mean, I thought like I'm just gonna have to get married and have kids, and it just, if there was anything that I could have done, if I could have wished upon a star, prayed to God long enough to change that in myself, I would have done that, because I just could not imagine a world, and that was 1990, you know? And I'm sure that some things are different today, but a lot of things are still the same depending on where you live. I mean, there are places in the world still, I mean, we talk a lot about the United States, but places in the world where people are killed for this, like by their governments for being gay, you know, or being trans or whatever. And as bad as we might have it in the United States at times, like that is not missed on me, that because I was born in a completely different country, my outcome is completely different, and people are being killed every day for their sexuality and their gender and things like that, and I fully understand that, and you know, and feel grateful that I live in a country, and I think sometimes I have to take a look at it that way, that yes, things are not how I want them to be, but they could be a lot worse. And so, but I think about that, like, Like, I watch a show, like, where in 2026, that's such a normal conversation in a TV show that's aimed at teenagers. Like, we watched, you know, Pretty Little Liars, Original Sin. There's a lot of gay characters, LGBTQI+. I mean, I think about how far that we've come just in 5 or 6 years. That gender fluidity, you know, non-binary people, trans people, asexual people, let alone gay, lesbian, and bisexual people, are talked about regularly in a lot of TV shows that I watch. I think is huge progress. I think that pop culture does really help how we accept things in the world. And it definitely made me, you know, through music, I think originally, and then through people like Madonna, really made me feel more comfortable in my own skin. If at that time, when I was struggling so hard, if TV shows like this existed, that maybe wouldn't have made me feel super proud or like I'm ready to come out tomorrow, but definitely wouldn't have made me feel so alone, because I really, really felt alone. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't feel like I could talk to my closest friends about it. I mean, later they told me they knew. My one friend that I came the closest to telling in high school, I had this crush on this guy, Rusty, which was the guy the book that I wrote was basically based on that crush. And he wasn't even at our school for very long, but I would tell her that, like, I just wondered about him. Like, I wondered what he did, or I'd think about what his room looked like, and I did, and that was a crush. And that was the closest I could come to telling my friend that when I finally did come out to her, she was like, why would you ever think that I would think any differently of you? And most of my girlfriends were like, and we already knew, or we already suspected. They weren't mean about it. I was kind of hurt at first, like, well, why wouldn't you say something to me about it? And I remember my one friend was like, we didn't know what to say. Like, we didn't have that language back then, you know? To come to somebody and say, I mean, I'm sure some people did, but mostly we didn't. To come to somebody and be like, hey, I feel like you might be struggling, like, if you want somebody to talk to, like, and I don't know that I would have even opened up had they. Today, I think, if I had the same parents that I had today that were so loving, well, I really think today in 2026, I think my dad would have probably broached the both of my parents were, but definitely my dad, very open. But my mom didn't really have a clue. I mean, she said till the day she died, I just don't know how people know you're gay. Really, Mom? I'd be like, girl. But my dad, like, I think he would have come to me probably, I honestly think he would have come to me in 6th or 7th grade. And he would have been like, I feel like maybe this is something that you're struggling with, and if you ever want to talk about, I mean, I remember seeing this therapist when I was in high school. This was the last time I ever saw her. And I told my dad that years later, and he was like, I always wonder what happened on that session because you didn't want to go back. She said to me when I was walking out the door, she said, the next session that we come in here, I think we should start talking about your sexuality. I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Not even the confines of the privacy of a therapy session. I was too scared of it. I think in 2026, with where the world is now, I think my dad was so protective of me, so loving of me, unconditional love. Like, my mom unconditionally loved me, but my dad has, like, unbelievably unconditionally loved me. I think that my dad would probably, if I was that age today, I think he would come to me and be like, and I think he would sit down and say, I want to have a conversation with you. Like, I don't know if this is a struggle that you're going through, but I've noticed some things. And, you know, if you want to talk to me about it, or if this is what you need to say, I think he would have opened that door. And I think that I probably would have come out to my dad first. I think in that world, and then I think that would make it easier. I think my mom's fear for me was that my mom was also very involved in the church. The church that I went to was not a bigoted church. It wasn't condemning of gay people. But I think that my mom came in contact with enough people that were, that I thought that, I think she thought those people would be unkind to me. I think both parents, especially my dad, but both of my parents would really have, my mom would have wanted me to get involved in, like here in Indianapolis, we have Indianapolis Youth Group, which is for LGBTQI plus teens. My mom would have really wanted me to get involved in stuff like that. My dad, I think, would want to sit down and watch movies like Love, Simon with me. I think both of my parents would have got involved in PFLAG. I think, because they would have wanted to know. It wouldn't have just been about supporting me. It would have been, they would have wanted to educate themselves. My dad did that. Like, you know, my mom got sober, but my dad, with the recovery stuff, like, he got educated. Like, he wanted to find out so that when he was talking to me, he was talking to me from an educated point of view. He would have wanted to do that. He would have bought me the books. He would have demanded that those books existed. He would have wanted to see the movies. Like in 2026, he would buy me the Heartstopper books if I, like, he would want me to have that support. He and my stepmom both. Like, my stepmom was always like 20 years ahead of time anyway. I mean, I don't know, maybe she would have been the one that would have approached me first. But, in 1990, I think they were afraid to do that. Because, I mean, my dad has said to me so many times, like, I knew when you were 4 years old that we would have had this conversation. I think, but he based it a lot on stereotypes, but the stereotypes ended up being true. I think the battery went to the halfway mark already. Anyway, I think that my dad in 1990 was scared of scaring me away. Obviously, he already knew I had an addiction issue, too. So I think his fear was, if I push Peter too far, then I'm going to push him far. We would have so many conversations about this. He was like, I was afraid that you would harm yourself, that you would do, like, worse drugs and alcohol because you wouldn't want to deal with it. And here I am bringing it up, and maybe I brought it up wrong, and I didn't want to bring it up in a therapeutic session because then you wouldn't go back to therapy. You already didn't want to go see that therapist. So he's like, I didn't know, But I think in 2026, it would be completely different. I watch these shows where it's just woven in. It's like, in Paradise, there's two women that are having a relationship. It's just presented as if it's so normal. We see that all the time with TV shows and stuff. And it's not even just really like a discussion. It's just there it is. And in a lot of like shows that are aimed at teenagers today, I'm not talking about specific shows like Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, the graphic novels, which are fantastic, that it's about a gay couple. I'm talking about, or a gay and bisexual couple. I'm talking about where it's just woven into storylines. Like, it's just so normal because it is. When I watched this weekend, One Battle After Another, his daughter, like, her friends come to pick her up, and she's got, like, a non-binary friend and, like, a bisexual friend, and, like, her dad's quizzing her about this because he's kind of old school and stuff like that. And I just love how they wove the storyline right into it. Like, it just, for her, it was like, why are we even having this conversation? So, I don't know. And then I think about, like, I was blessed enough to come out in 1990 and find a group of people that were like me. What if I had come out I wouldn't have come out in 1940 or 1950. I think that's why today we see so many people. Well, they discuss that in School Spirits, too. They discuss that in School Spirits. I don't want to tell you how. But anyway, but, I mean, I think that's why. And I still think we see that. There are so many adults that are coming out in their 50s and 60s. God love them. We don't talk enough about that. We talk so much about kids and the struggle that they have coming out, which it is a struggle. And there are so many families and parents out there, not even just religious ones, not even just conservative ones, but ones that just can't wrap their heads around it or think it's a phase or whatever. So what if it's a phase? I mean, as a straight white person in the United States, did y'all not go through some phases? Okay, well, maybe they got to go through that to figure out what they really are, but don't deny them that, because maybe it is really who they are, Like, we're so scared of that. Why are we so scared of that? It's like, it's like I can remember my parents buying me tarot cards and books about the occult and all that kind of stuff. At the time, that satanic panic was happening, and I can remember people like, I'd be talking about tarot cards at school, and people be looking at me like I was crazy and whatever. And my parents were buying me the tarot cards from Walden Books and reading the books and whatever. And you know what? I got bored of it real quick. Maybe other people wouldn't have. I don't know. But I was having conversations with my parents about that. The people that are scared and want to say it's there are people that aren't having conversations with their kids. My parents were having conversations with me about everything. Do you remember when you used to take these things off? Oh, what just happened? What just fell out of there? I don't know what that was. Where did it go? Anyway, I'm going to put it back on now. I probably just screwed up my baton. But anyway, my parents were having conversations with me. They were not scared of me becoming, like a witch and a warlock because I had tarot cards. They're like, lean into it. Buy them the books, okay? Have conversations with it. And they would say things to me. We don't care what your spiritual beliefs are. We just don't want you to lean into something they didn't say dark-sided, like Ouija boards. But that's what they meant. Like, we don't want you to become a Satan worshiper, or something that, it's going to hurt you. But, like, have conversations with us about it. I was just listen, I'd seen Live and Let Die, and Jane Seymour's reading tarot cards in there. This is the truth. And Jane Seymour's reading tarot cards in there, and she voodoo, and I wanted to read tarot cards. And I was obsessed with it. My friends and I, we all were. I still believe in tarot cards to this day. What was that came out of the end of that? But anyway, But, you know, they just had conversations with me about it. And I'm so grateful for that because they just leaned into it, you know, instead of being afraid of it. And I think that's who they would be in 2026. I don't know. I think, I sometimes wonder what my path would have looked like had I had all of that support. And I'm sure I'm not the only LGBTQI plus person that's wondered that. Like, to some degree, I think I would have maybe been more of a leader instead of a follower. I think I would have been a little bit more unafraid. You know, the camera stopped. The addiction stuff was there. So I have always believed that at some time or another, the addiction stuff would have come out full throttle anyway. But I can't deny that the addiction stuff didn't come out more at that time because of my coming out and my fear of coming out. And I think, like, I mean, I remember going to my counselor in treatment and being like, we're not going to talk about that. I'm okay with being gay. I don't need to talk about it. And she said, do you not think people in here know that you're gay? Basically based on my voice and my mannerisms and whatever. And I was like, that's not the point. We're not going to talk about it. And I think basically what she was saying at that time was, you know, like, this is a huge part of your using. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But this is a huge part of your using. And I don't think she pushed it on me because I don't think in 1994 we were going to push people. I think today, and I mean, she's still a dear friend of mine today. We've talked a little bit about it the years, but we don't talk that much about my treatment days anymore. But, you know, like, I think today she'd probably say to me, no, I think you need to talk about this, and I think this is important. If you don't want to talk about it in group, that's fine, but we need to talk about it one-on-one or individually. I think the addiction stuff would have come out at some time or another anyway. I think I'm genetically predisposed to be an addict. Whether that would have come out because I went to college and I felt real comfortable and I made a group of gay friends down there and I felt real artsy and I felt real comfortable in my skin and I succeeded in school, I think the addiction would have still come out. I think it would have still been problematic in my life. I think I still hopefully would have got sober. Had I gone to New York because I felt so comfortable in my skin and went to Parsons or, you know, went to Savannah School of Art and Design and went into fashion, I think it would have played out. I think the addiction would have played out in clubs. I probably would have been at Limelight, New York. I think whether I stayed in Indianapolis or I went away, I think the addiction was going to come out at some point. But I do sometimes wonder, like, if I came out in a world that I was less afraid of. But, you know, I have friends of mine that went to New York. I have friends of mine that were club kids and were friends with Michael Alec. I have friends of mine that, you know, moved to Paris and Florida and Chicago and everywhere else. It wasn't just about me being gay. I just was afraid of growing up. I really was. And I really just didn't know how to do that. And then I got sober at 22 and a half, and I felt like I was basically like 14, going on 22, trying to be an adult. And I don't know that, I mean, I think about 30, I finally maybe caught up. And by then I realized I didn't really want to move away. You know, it's kind of like very much like the Wizard of Oz, that everything I was looking for was my own backyard. But I do sometimes wonder what my life would look like differently if I think I would have been, you know, I'm very proud of being gay today. And I think that people misunderstand sometimes the whole pride thing is. But like when you live through all that and you got people shaming you and putting you down and bullying you for being something, on the other side of that, when you look at that and you realize, no, I'm proud of that part of myself today, and I made it through that. You've been living in the shadows. That's what pride is, right? And I think, like, even now, like, watching Heated Rivalry, like, I don't know, this show has so much made me, Heated Rivalry made me really, like, think a lot about my coming out and stuff, and the books that I'm reading and whatever, like, really, like, falling in love with being gay again in a way that I felt when I first came out. I was so proud of myself of going through that process and being surrounded by gay people and gay friends. Like, I'm feeling like that again, you know, like, and leaning into it again, like a little bit, like I've been saying. I keep on using that term, leaning into it, but no, I really do feel like that. And I don't know, like, it makes me kind of sad that I had to come this far in my life to feel that way. I think if I came out, I think looking back, if we lived in today's time, I think I am somebody that would have probably come out in 7th or 8th grade. If I felt comfortable enough, and if I hadn't been bullied all through elementary school for being effeminate, I probably would have felt comfortable coming out in 7th or 8th grade. I probably would have continued to play tennis and definitely maybe other sports. So I don't know what that would look like for me. And so But I think I would have been very involved, maybe more in school activities, which I don't regret. Like, I thought a lot about this through the years. Like, I love the friends that I had in high school. I love that we were punk rock and listening to the Smiths and The Cure, and I love that part of myself. I also think there's another, part of me that would have been very involved in school. I also think that I could have done that and had those friends and also been very involved in clubs, at least gay straight alliances, or I don't know. And I think in some ways I could have had like a lot of gay friends that didn't go to my high school and connected. I didn't date in high school. I had a girlfriend, but then she came out as a lesbian and I came out as gay. And I never got to feel that in high school, and I can remember like going out to bars and feeling that, but I don't necessarily think you're supposed to like, for me, I can remember thinking that at the time, like all my friends felt this early and got to go on dates and stuff, but like, I don't think I'm supposed to be feeling this way, in a bar for my first time at 18 years old, like, I don't know. But I just think it's a different world today. But I also this is why I'm so respectful of the people that came before me, and this is why it's important for me to know my history, because it was much more difficult for people that came out in the 80s, in the middle of the AIDS crisis that I always thought early on started in the mid to late 80s, and it really started in the 70s. But people that came out in the 70s and 80s, and definitely people that came out in the 40s and 50s and before that could never come out, could never share their love, Like, my husband and I living in a house today with dogs and traveling together. Like, I know it sounds bad when I say this, but we're allowed to do that. Like, it wasn't even allowed back then. I mean, you could be jailed or institutionalized for that. There were sodomy laws and people were put in psychiatric facilities. And I think that's part of our fear today, is that it's going to go back to that at some point. So I don't know, but these shows, like School Spirits, to get back to what I was saying, because my battery's at the halfway mark, it's probably going to die here in a second, which show it so prevalently, I think it's important for us, whatever our marginalized community is, or whatever our belief systems are, whatever, find shows, books, and movies, and songs, and lyricists and singers that you see yourself in, whatever your truth is. Not just that your sexuality or your gender, but whatever your truth is, whatever you've gone through, whatever your pain is, like, find that and seek it out. If you're from a small town, watch shows about small towns. You won't feel so all alone, if, I don't know, it's ethnic background, it's all of that stuff. I think it's one of the reasons why, like, my husband loves watching shows about, like, he loves watching Spanish-speaking shows and Latino shows and things like that, because I think he's like, we're constantly inundated with, American television, that for him it's like I see myself in that, and so yeah. Hey, how are you? They were waving before they even came around. They're so nice. I think it's important for us to see ourselves, and I think pop culture has the power to change a lot of it, and I think that's why we're always scared when celebrities, not us, but I think other people are scared when celebrities come out about and take a stance, because they know people will listen to celebrities. And we do, we do. So, I don't know, but I'm grateful for the representation in books and movies and TV shows. And you know what? I'm not bitter about the fact that it didn't exist when I was growing up. I've talked a lot about it. I wish it had. I think it would have made my experience different, but I think my experience built me into who I am today. So, I don't take that away. And I'm so grateful. I can remember one of my friends years ago was telling me about his daughter coming out, and he was like, what do you think I should do? And I said, and like they had already had the conversation, whatever, and I said, take her to a bookstore, let her find the books and the movies and the TV shows that she wants to watch are going to make her feel safe in her own house, in her own home, watch them with her, ask her about the books, read them with her, because he loved to read, and he was like, oh, that's such a great idea. And, he thanked me years later. He's like, we really connected over some of these books. And, I think, like, it's such a powerful message, that we have that today. I think that's one of the reasons why it was important for me to do the Band and Challenge book club, because it's like, let's read books that we're not afraid, that, or some people are afraid of, that they might change people's minds and stuff like that. Why are we so afraid of people? Why are we so afraid of people authentically living their lives? Not hurting people, just authentically living their lives. Listen, I got issues with people that hurt other people too. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, why are we afraid of people just authentically, however you define that, just authentically living their lives, not hurting anybody else? Why are we so threatened by that? Some people out. I don't understand that. I really don't. Anyway. Well, I'm going to get off here now and go check on Alex and the dogs and get my other videos up. And then, best damn tapper, most smartest. And then I'm going to take my walk. It's going to be dark tonight when I take my walk, and then the lights are already coming on, and then I'm going to be listening to my scary book that takes place in a cave. Nikki already read it, and she said it was fantastic. So I'm excited to read that, watch shows, and yeah, so I will be back here tomorrow. Same time, same place, hopefully same time. Unless it's pouring down rain. In that case, I will be getting the queso and guacamole. Anyway, watch Jury Duty. It's on Amazon Prime. You won't be disappointed. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Thursday. It's almost the weekend. It was so nice today. I think it's supposed to be nicer tomorrow, too. Well, I mean, temperature-wise. If nobody else has told you this today, don't ever forget. I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for hanging out with me again. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you.